Something is not right. Aha, I think I'm on now, you guys. Aha. So do you see me? Anybody on? I think, Debbie, you see me. I am on, guys. I was having a technical difficulty that I think I fixed. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to see if I can see you guys. Yeah, there we go. So anybody on, give me a hi if you're watching. Guys, I think we figured out where we're at here. So this is our inaugural podcast, and I anticipated some technical challenges. And so no stress whatsoever, guys, no stress. Let's just get it going. So if you're watching, let me know. I see Debbie's on. Give me some feedback, guys. I want to make sure we're all on. Yeah. Okie doke. So I am going to trust Facebook. I am going to proceed. Aha, yes, I think we're all good. Debbie, thank you. She is a hero. Love it. Yep, we're all good. All right, I think we are all great and we are ready to roll. Oh, I don't know where everyone is though. I'm a little bit sad. I don't see anyone unless Facebook is glitching me. So I am going to proceed by faith. I am going to get us started. Today in our session, we are going to talk about investing and making your health and wellness a priority. So is that something you've thought about, investing and making your health and wellness a priority? So are you ready to hear about this, guys? Let's do it. We got to, stay fit for life. We want to lose weight. We want to get healthy. So let's tune in. If you're new to our group, welcome. Sorry for all the rambling here because this is new. We needed to figure out the glitches. So let us get started officially. So welcome to the podcast. And my name is Diana. I am the founder of this group, and I am committed to helping women lose weight and transform in mind, body, and spirit. I am going to actually invite our guest in here in a second. So the way this will work each week, the way this becomes a podcast is I'll welcome you guys as I see you. And like I said, I'm not seeing a lot of you. I'm hoping some of you are on and I just don't see you. Yep, I can see that some of you are on now because I'm getting notified, but somehow it's not showing up for me. So I'm just trying to refresh and see. Kathy, I saw that you're watching. So I'm trying to see why I am not getting, there we go. Oh, Jill is on, Debbie's on, Kathy's on. Okay, I think we're getting in the roll. So let me tell you how this is gonna work. So I will come on, I will welcome you, and then I will go and start the podcast, which I'm gonna do that in a second because we gotta get started, okay? We had a little technical glitch, and so right now, I'm going to go and I'm going to let my guest in. Today, we have an interview with a client who has been experiencing total transformation. And here she is. Lynn, hello. I'm going to change my view. Hold on. I had some technical glitches, Lynn. So we are, as you could imagine, Nice to see you. This is our guest today is Lynn, who is got a great story to tell us. And in a second here, I'm going to start recording. And when I do, I'll start with my introduction to the podcast. And then Lynn, we're going to talk about you today. Are you ready?
I guess so.
This is good. Make it sound more convincing, Lynn.
Absolutely.
Now we're talking.
Best dress on and everything.
Well, I had mine, but I was so cold. I'm going to take my jacket off. Here we go. I got dressed up for it. No, I'm teasing. But yeah, no, I had some technical glitches and that can mess things up. But I'm so used to that. So now we're all good. I believe people can see us. And Lynn, thank you for being here. I'm going to start the recording and let's do a little welcome, and then you and I will dive in as if we're just doing an interview, and then at the end we'll go back to our Facebook friends, and we hope you will give us comments and feedback as we go with questions or anything. Okay, we're going to talk today. Let me introduce. I'm going to start the recording, then I'll start. So where am I going to hold on one second? Another moment. Nope, I don't want to stop. I want to record. There we go. Excellent. Okay, welcome to the Faith-Based Weight Loss for Women podcast. My name is Diana Sahakian, and I am so excited to be here with you guys launching our inaugural first podcast. And today we're going to start with a no better topic than in talking about investing and prioritizing our health and wellness. And to do that today, I have invited a very special guest, Lynn, who has been come like a friend, but has been a client of mine. And she is going to tell us about how she has made a decision to invest and prioritize in her health and tell us her story. And I'm so excited to hear you share, Lynn, what this journey has been like for you. And so thank you for doing this. And I just love, you guys know, really the best part of my job is helping people transform, and each step of the way is so rewarding. So thank you for allowing me to do that with you. And it's just been really great. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Lynn. Just give us some basic facts, like tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in New Jersey. I have lived most of my life in New Jersey. I spent a chunk of my life in the Midwest, but came back to my native state 18 years ago. So I am an East Coast girl, East Coast attitude all the way. I fit better here than I do in the Midwest.
I didn't know you were in the Midwest, or I didn't. I just always thought of you as East Coast. So that's an interesting nugget. I'm always learning something new. I love it. That's great. Tell us, Lynn, where you were before we met, and kind of what led you to the point of you and I meeting. It's been a couple of months, over 2 months now. So tell us about that.
Okay. Before we connected, it was, we were in the middle of COVID for sure. So I was beginning to have a whole nother series of weight gain, and it was rising to my highest. I was starting to get very defeated again about, keeping that under control, and how come I can't maintain my weight over a long period of time. I've also struggled with fibromyalgia, and I was having a lot of lupus flares during COVID. So it was kind of a weird season, but I really got to the point where I was kind of tired all the time. I couldn't even do stairs without, huffing and puffing, and I just felt uncomfortable. I just didn't really like the way I felt in my body.
Yeah, no, that's right. I remember when we first met, you telling me that. And you've struggled with your weight for how long?
I would almost have to say all my life. I mean, I think I can't even look at kids' pictures that I wasn't a little bit more of a chunky kid, I hated when I was younger and I wore a 14X, it was like, you don't just jump up, and I could never wear junior clothes. I never, so it's really always been a struggle. I've always considered myself to be a big girl, I always said I had big bones, that was my excuse back then.
I do know, because I have this similar story. So in that I relate totally. What were some of your previous diet attempts?
Whenever I've lost weight, I usually went to the low fat, low sugar. I just said, I'm just going to knock the fat and the sugar out of my diet. I usually lost weight. I wouldn't say in a healthy way, but it was very hard to maintain that. I just kind of went to like low everything, we'll just eat low everything, but I do know now that I was probably eating way too many carbs. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I was doing low fat, low sugar, you know?
And you were able to lose the weight, but then what would happen when you would stop that eating style?
Oh, it came right back on again
Mhm.
quickly, you know,
Yeah.
almost faster than it, and it came off very slowly. So it was a pretty long season.
Yeah, exactly. That's we hear that a lot. And so what kind of you learned about what I was doing, like what changed, what kind of led you to determine to work with the 5 principle method faith-based program?
Well, I mean, I think to me, it was that it wasn't just another plan to follow, but it would give me focus. It would give balance rather than like concentration in just one area, incorporating all of who I am as a person rather than just what I ate.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a big deal. And so what has changed since we began working together?
What has changed? Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to start. I used to have a lot of digestive issues. I couldn't eat salads. I couldn't eat roughs. I couldn't eat fiber. And now I eat all that and I have a very quiet stomach now. That to me was one of the very big evidences. I have much more energy. A lot of my pain that I've been having, I think between the exercising and the stretching has really minimized, hasn't gone away. I don't think it will, but it is not excruciating or keeping me up at night anymore. Um, you know, I have a whole lot more energy. I'm not falling asleep at the couch at 7 o'clock at night, you know.
To the point where you're struggling to go to bed, even though you're supposed to go to bed to get your
Right,
sleep, right? I know
right,
you said that
right.
a couple of times. You're wide
Yeah.
awake at 10, which is really phenomenal. But yeah, that's cool. What else were you going to say? Did you have something else?
I don't, I don't know, probably went through my brain, but
No.
you know, it just was that all of me, I don't feel as disconnected. And I just feel like even my mind, I was, you know, much more focused at work and in concentrating.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you felt the program was comprehensive, right? Is that
Absolutely. It incorporated every part of me, you know, from the spiritual to the physical, to the mental, to the emotional. I mean, I think dealing with the stress level. I mean, you and I have talked about the fact that I have high stress and that how much that contributed to my weight, and I never knew that. And so just trying to be more aware of that, I think instead of just saying I have high stress, you know, and thinking that I always was good at managing my stress, but I was probably good at externally managing my stress rather than internally managing my stress.
right? Yeah, you said so many things that are so good. I remember too, I was looking through your records and such, and you had a lot of physical pain and struggles. And it's funny because when we talk, you don't even bring them up as much, to the point where I was like, really? This is all the stuff she brought to the table, like fibromyalgia alone
Right,
is a huge
right.
one. And then like I said, there were a bunch of things, and I was like, well, really, I almost forgot, because really from the beginning, those were some of the things I felt like you just started to do so well. So you have really embraced the comprehensive nature. And then how do you feel the program helped you with balance, like balancing out? Was that a big deal in the program for you, bringing balance, mind, body, and spirit? I mean, you've touched on it, but I want to flesh that out a little more.
I think it really helped me not just think of them as separate identities. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think it made help me see like your wheel. I mean, I've seen a wheel before, but I never really thought about it in some of those terms that you put there, and how if you look at my first wheel, I mean, it's way out of balance. I mean, I'm also very hard on myself, so I know I graded myself hard, but it's just way out of balance. And then I did one a little while ago, and you know, I can see the balance coming back. And so because it allowed me to focus on the things and see the areas that I really need to work on rather than just stick with my strengths. I mean, I think that's a tendency, right? We have stick to the
Exactly.
strengths, forget about the areas that we struggle. And this really made me look at them and pay attention to them. I'm
Yeah.
very good at ignoring my weak spots.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We say we want to get better at something, but then when we look at what we're actually doing, we're avoiding the things we want to get better at because we're not good at. And that's where we can come alongside in a program like this to talk about these things. And you did amazing because you just did everything that was told, right? Like, so that your results are just fantastic. You know, I always talk about the 5 principle method to be comprehensive, balanced, and adapts to the aging body, right? Or changing body, aging body. And I think that's also an area, right? That you had back pain, hip pain. How
I have pain everywhere. I mean, even
right.
now, I have pain everywhere, but the pain now is minimal compared to where it had gotten, where I just felt like I was an elephant at times, like not weight wise as much as heavy, burden weight wise, like everything just seemed hard to move it's been pretty much amazing. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and Lynn, you're moving so much now. Like that's been one of the most recent changes. Like, guys, she's turning into like a movement fanatic. Her exercise is so good. I love it. Lynn, how much weight have you lost?
A little over 11 pounds.
Yeah, and how much more do you have to go?
A little over 8.
And you were worried you might have to buy a whole new wardrobe.
I was yes, I think I am going to have to wear. I wore a pair of pants this morning and the belt and everything else just wasn't working. So they just went in the, thrift store pile.
Yes, get rid of them so we don't get back to them or plan to get back to them. How did the faith component in this journey affect you, the faith-based component of the program?
I think it just was the constant reminder that my faith and that God is in all parts of who I am, and that my faith plays a role in every aspect of my life, and not just, one or two aspects. It's not just relational, but, that God's call to stewardship is in every area of my life and not just in, the obvious areas of our lives.
Right. No, I love it. How have the disciplines, the principles, how natural are they in your life now? How do you feel? It's been 10 weeks. You're on your last week now. So of the program, how does it feel? Natural, still totally difficult?
Much more natural. I don't have to think about it as much. There are times I still do, but it's so organized. It's not hard when I have to go back and look and find and kind of go, where do I have to go next? And even with the journaling, I was a little hesitant, like I'm too busy for that. I don't need to do that in the beginning. And when I really got onto it, that's really actually helped keep me way more in tune to the big picture, and to help keep the focus on what's happening today and what I need to do. I mean, it's so simple, and the tracking and the organization of it does not make it hard to follow at all. You just have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's made you so successful, because you've really done the part, but good to know it feels smooth. And the journaling is so key. And I appreciate you sharing that it's not one of your strengths, because I hear that a lot. And yet it is one of the key pieces to the sustainability. And so again, getting that going is so important. What advice would you give someone who was in your spot, 2, 3, 4, up to 6 months ago?
You know what? I could think of a lot of things, but I think be open to change, be open to the fact that even though you think you've tried everything, that you probably haven't. Be open to different. I mean, this is different than a regular weight loss program. So be open to that, and be ready that it's really an inside out change rather than an outside in change. That so much of the inside was required for me to get mentally on board and emotionally on board in order for me to slowly integrate the energy and effort to do the externals. So, and, I think you do a great job on, getting us in the right frame of mind and, motivated. Internal motivation is, hard to come by when you have felt defeated in your weight constantly.
So good, Lynn. I love what you said, from the inside out, not outside in. That is so good. I'll have to use that. You guys inspire me so much. I love that. And you don't feel like you're on a diet, right?
Sometimes when I sit around with the family, I'm like, obviously I'm on a different diet than they are.
Right.
But I don't think of it as a diet. It's different than what other people eat, but that doesn't make it a diet. That just makes it my diet.
And you make choices that are different.
Right. And I've learned, over time to be able to make those choices in restaurants and make the choices on takeout meals and, make that choices when I'm out with family. I know now, how to pick and choose and how to be able to eat some of the things that others are eating without it kind of being like a bad day or a blown day.
Yeah, that's so good. Final question, then anything else you want us to know? What do you want other people who are struggling to lose weight, who feel stuck? I talk a lot about moving from stuck to unstoppable. What would you want to say to them? Just in general, what is your thing? Like, what do you feel would be the most helpful thing for them to hear?
Well, I mean, I think the thing that comes to mind to me is, first it's impossible, but it does require the desire to be all in. And then you did give me these questions ahead of time. So the one thing I thought about that first popped into my head is Jesus at the pool, Bethesda, when he goes up to the guy and he says, do you want to be well? You got to want to be well. And then what does he tell him? Take up your mat, which means not only do you have to want to be well, you really have to be willing to put in the energy. And I would just say, listen, I was skeptical. I was definitely skeptical. Thought I was a little crazy, but I just decided to take up the mat, walk, and do it. And I did not expect in any way, shape, or form this kind of success. I mean, it's taken me forever to lose 10 pounds before, and months, and I'm going to hit my goal probably, maybe certainly in July sometime, if not before. So I think that's huge. That's big for me.
It's huge. And you at the beginning, you had a little hurdle, right? So really
I went up first. So I guess I actually lost more weight.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, which also is important to note that can happen, but you stuck to doing your part. You picked up your mat, right? You did your part and you were serious. I love it. Anything else you want to tell us before we end our time together today? You've touched on so many profound things. I really, really love hearing what you have to say. Any last words?
I don't have really last words, like my final thoughts are just, allow Diana to speak to you, because, I just think that was one of the biggest pieces about it, is that you encouraged, you challenged. I mean, I never felt put down. I always felt heard. You always listened to what I was saying. And, I told you the one thing where I love the fact that I can go on and get these exercises where there's people there and there's, it's happening live, and I don't have to go out and hunt down things. I could do it in my time frame. It didn't have to fit in. I don't have to drive to a gym, which takes twice as long. I mean, to me, if you say I don't have the time, this program allows you to have the time. Because if I'm one of those people that would have said I have no extra time. And so I just love that. I appreciate you, and whoever that Lynn is out there, tell her to keep up, because I always loved it when you told her how good she was doing, because it made me feel good. I was like, oh,
there's another Lynn in one of the classes. That's what Lynn is talking about. I love it. Yeah, I will. I have to tell her that. Well, Lynn, I love it. I really do. I'm so happy to see you reap the success you're reaping. You've worked hard. You've followed the steps. You've trusted the process. You've done your part. And really, when you do all these things, you're going to get results. And I am just rejoicing with you. And
unbelievable results as far as I'm concerned. I would have never expected this.
No, this is awesome. And it's a lifestyle, and we continue to do the steps, and you will sustain the results. And so thank you so much for your willingness to share the story and being with us today.
Well, I'm glad I could. Thank you.
All right, I just stopped the recording, Lynn. And so now we're gonna go back and look at our Facebook. If I can see if it worked, that's gonna be, I'm hoping, anyways, we have the podcast. Let's go back and see, let me refresh. Oh, I see. Let's see here, what's happening. 30 minutes. Uh-oh, we might have had a glitch, but you know what? I'll have to post it later. Lynn, are you there?
I am. I'm here.
Okay, it says we're still live, but I have a feeling we're not. So let me come back to you. All right, let's hang up. I think we had glitches, but at least we have the recording for the podcast and everything is good. So thanks so much. Did you come back home?
I did.
Okay.
I would have